BD5 pilot with you on a beautiful Sunday morning. And yes, I'm back here working on the plane, figuring some more things out. So let's go take a look at what I've got. So I spent the morning doing a little more work with aligning that drive system. And one of the things I did find I needed to do a little bit more modification. I put a few more spacers into here to get these to just fit perfectly. And I verified that. Got my measurement. 3 1/8 inch is what that jack shaft is going to need to be constructed to. And then worked on the wiring here, the spark plug wiring. And I took one of the plugs out and ran it through, found where top dead center was so I could identify which of these senders sends the signal to which set of cylinders. So this top sender here is for this row of cylinders, which means the bottom obviously goes to this one. This is a boxer, so these pistons are in phase with each other, so they cancel out the vibration. That lets me identify how to hook up the set of wiring up there and which one of these I need to get the extensions made for, and probably a 4 to 6 inch extension, which I can probably pick up from a hobby store considering how those are made. Continuing to look at potential problems. The throttle linkage, which I had very carefully measured the arm for, that is not quite given the full throw, and I think I've identified the problem up here, and it has to deal with right there. That's actually running into. So I'm going to pull that cover off and make that hole just a little bit longer and see if that cures the problem. Hopefully that takes care of it. And recall how the engine sets over here a little far over to one side, to the left side. And so I've worked on the routing here to where this is the only spark plug wire that looks like it's going to cause me potential trouble. I'm going to take and put that cover on, and then we'll go to the other side and see if my guess is right. Cooling on this, I told you, I think I'm going to do a baffle that comes up and then across the top here. So it's just going to make sure that the air stays right here on the top of the motor and then gets sucked down through that exhaust jet venturi. I don't really have the space sufficient here. I can put a smaller scat tube on this side. The other side allows for a good 3 1/2 inch scat tube. So I might decide to just route everything over to the one side out of those two NACA ducts, and remember those have to feed into the velocity stacks for the carburetors. And so yeah, I'm working on designing a little box that'll slide over the trumpets there and then taper back into a fitting that will allow it. And the other thing is you have to be able to get it in. I mean, I can't make too big of a box there or too funny of a shape, because I still have to be able to slip it down through all of this other hardware, especially when the jack shaft is there. I'm just not going to have a lot of wiggle room for putting a large box into there, but I can slip something small down into there that, or possibly something that mounts into those NACA ducts at the bottom that stays there, and then another piece fits into it, it's articulated into it. So let's look at the other side, see if there's anything I'm forgetting to tell you. Yeah, this side being a little further away means I'll have to probably have a little piece right here that makes sure that airflow all just goes around the motor and gets sucked down and out. I am thinking of putting some of the shark fins, 3 shark fins in a row right here at the forward part of the engine cover, and that'll allow for a little additional flow into this area and help with the potential cooling. Plus, when I shut the engine down, I'm letting it cool down. That'll give an escape route so that it doesn't trap hot air in here. And I did hook up the power again. And what I do find out is something's gone haywire with the autopilot. So this thing will power up, but it's given me a sync error with the autopilot servos. So I'll have to do a little research and find out why that's doing that. I don't think it's because I have the components removed, because that shouldn't affect the servos. And the servos and the linkage are all still attached. It's just that the wings aren't on the plane. But everything else is booting up. I've got COM, I've got my transponder getting the AHRS alignment. So all this looks like it's going to keep working. There's my message, and there's my faults. So I've got a roll server hardware fault, pitch server hardware fault, and a power supply fault. But I can come back and see that they're getting the right power. I can pop into the VPX menu and see that the GSA 28s, they're both got their power. So I'm not seeing a power fault there through the vertical power unit. So that's not where it's coming from. We come back to the servos themselves. I might be able to see it from this side. Do we see the red light? Don't know if you can see the red light. I can see the red light, but I bet you can't see the red light. But it's supposed to be a green light on that servo, not a red light. Let's see if I drop my phone reaching it down to here. That's supposed to be green. That's not supposed to be red. And let's see what this one's doing. Probably the same thing. Yep, that's supposed to be a green light, not a red light. So we'll have to do a little research there. All right, let me put this cover on and I'll be right back. Well, yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that engine cover on. We'll see how well the lighting is in here to illuminate how that's going to look. You can see I have that marked for what was going to be one of the ducts, but there we go. There's our alignment. And yeah, potential for chafing, of course, so it's a matter of putting some material onto that aluminum that protects that from happening. Something that's non-conductive and prevents problems. Either that or making a little bubble right there, but we'd like to not put a bubble on it. I did have another crazy idea. You like my crazy ideas, don't you? And that was actually just opening this area up to the heads themselves. And so having the make a piece that drops back into here and then comes back out smoothly, so to minimum airflow problems, but actually opens that area up to the air itself. And I might still entertain that idea. So I've got to get I'm going to have them make some new spacers that are the correct dimensions, so I don't have to run any of the little spacers, the little nylon spacers in there. And another thought I have is the one on the other side. Let me take this off and show you what I have to deal with there. So on this side, I have these 3 wires come off the generator. And those really concern me because look at that alignment right there with that spinning part of the generator and the wires right next to it. So one of my thoughts is I'm going to take this one particular nylon washer, maybe take a little pipe around here, epoxy that on, create a little thing that holds it up against here, and then comes back around and keeps it from running into there. So I can route the wires without having to worry about it running into that. So here's my other thought project that's going on. But with such a nice sunny day out here at the airport, I actually should be out flying. Take a look at that. So I'm going to get those parts ordered. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be working on this until I get those parts, but I'll get those parts ordered so that we keep this ball rolling and get to work on some of these other projects to make sure that the wires are going to work okay in the aircraft and not have some chafing problems. And I'll be back with you with an update in the near future. BD5 pilot's out for now.